Alrighty then, and welcome back to Noah 6. So with me today I have a guest.
What's up, guys?
His name's Max, and we've pretty much known each other all our lives. And he was an avid FIFA player like myself. What would you say your favorite FIFA was? Back in the day?
My favorite FIFA was FIFA 15. That's when I played the most.
Okay, FIFA 15.
I played I would say three quarters of FIFA 16. Got into FIFA around FIFA 14. Didn't buy FIFA 17 or 18. Barely played 19. Didn't play 20. And I've been playing some 21, but nothing crazy.
Okay, yeah.
Not like the old days.
Yeah, I would say my favorite FIFA is like probably FIFA 16.
Yeah.
I think there's the OG. But anyway, so this video is all about why FIFA will never be the same as it was back in, the glory days. What would you say was the glory days of FIFA? Probably around 14,
I would say
15, maybe 16 as well?
Community-wise, 14 to... I would say 14 to the end of 15. Like 16 was involved. Okay, I'd say 14 to the beginning of FIFA 16.
Yeah,
I would say with all the YouTube going on, I remember watching most of the videos during probably early-ish 15.
Mm-hmm.
But...
Yeah, I think definitely the community was at its strongest in 15 in general. Maybe 14 as well with the World Cup mode that they had, but towards the end of 14. But 15, the community was super strong. And even into 16 a little bit, they were still really strong. And that's when I have my best memories personally. I know 16 kind of gets ragged on, but I like 16. That's when they introduced Foot Draft, which I thought was really cool. But anyway, so we're going to start out with 3 reasons why FIFA will never be the same as it was back in, we'll say the golden age or the glory days, as it is right now. And reason number 1 is it's too easy to get overpowered cards in this FIFA. Now, I'll speak from my experience. I know you haven't played a lot of Foot 21, but it's just... the game really rewards you for grinding, which can be viewed as a good thing, don't get me wrong, and they've added a ton of rewards, so you can get so many packs if you just put the time into the game. And it sounds great on the surface. It really does. Because you can play with all the best players in the game. And you can have them in your club. But what it does is it saturates the game so much that it's almost kind of meaningless when you get a good player, when you pull a good player. Except for those god tier talents. You're really not looking at too big of a difference. Like, the difference is minuscule between... I don't know, like a Virgil van Dijk and like a Rafael Varane, for example. Like, what's the difference really? There's not much. Whereas, I feel like back in the day, if you pulled even one of those guys, you were flipping out, and it completely changed your whole mood.
I know for at least from my experience, in my FIFA 21 squad, I use Zlatan, and he's super downgraded, but I think he's an 83 in this game, but he has like 52, 55 pace.
Yeah.
So he's slower. But that being said, there's some strikers that I've used that have been better than him or with more pace. But Zlatan, when used the right way, and he's like worth like 4 or 5K, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day, you pack a Zlatan and you lose your mind. Now it's like whatever, he's an 83, but you can still use him. And I would literally, just because I like him, I would use him more than maybe like an 88. I don't know who's 88 in the game. Is
as a striker, like Aguero or something.
Like Aguero, yeah. I'd rather spend the probably like 1.7K on him than the 50 plus K on Aguero. And like back in the day, like Noah was saying, like you pack an Aguero and that happens once every blue moon. You're like, oh my gosh. But now in the game, right, you got millions of people with an Aguero, and it's kind of to the point where like, would you rather be like everyone and use an Aguero, or would you rather go find yourself a Zlatan?
Yeah, there are a lot of FIFA memes where everybody uses the same overpowered players, and that was true back in the day to an extent, but there was always a way around it. I remember in FIFA 16, I had Inform Shane Long. I think it was second Inform, or even the first Inform, Shane Long, and his stats were not that great, but he was so good for me, and I honestly I loved using these guys because, back in the day, if you grinded the game, you really wouldn't get many coins. You maybe get like 30K at most, unless you pulled something crazy from packs. And your team was not that great. It was just like a basic BPL or Serie A squad or whatever you were working with. But every new addition felt that much more important and that much more special.
I think that on this topic of overpowered players, when you used in FIFA 15 and I guess 16, Seydou Doumbia, striker, was super overpowered because he had 92 pace, maybe something even more, maybe
something crazy.
But I'm sure you pull up his card, but he everyone used him, but he still felt personally special to you. Now it's when you use an Aguero that everyone has, it's he's a factory Aguero.
Well, it's not just that. There are these certain cards that they release for objectives that if you win a certain amount of games in a game mode or score a certain amount of goals, you get this card.
Yeah.
Or with SBCs, if you do a popular SBC and you get this really overpowered card, everybody's using them, and you come up against him, and everybody's using, and it's just well, what's the point, really? There's no variety, there's no uniqueness. And this kind of leads into our second point, which is the game nowadays is just too sweaty and too competitive to really get into.
Yeah. I think that's my biggest problem. Noah said, I was an avid FIFA player. I still bought FIFA 21. I played it. We played it together. We tried out the new co-op mode and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just when I'm using, I always played FIFA. I want to use my favorite guys, right? FIFA 15, Benteke was my favorite striker, and he wasn't necessarily that great. But now you use a Benteke, and there's no way you're gonna win a game with Benteke as a striker, because everyone has these crazy good 85 overall teams, and they're so I'll literally play, and I'll play the stuff as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure I got worse at FIFA, but I'm still playing the same way I've always played, and I play like that now, and I'll literally it'll be 6-0 by halftime, and I don't want to play the game anymore.
Yeah,
because you're playing guys that once you hit the division, even if you're in one of the lower divisions, I think I hover between 7 and 9 because I just get killed when I go higher. The players are so sweaty, and you can tell that they literally are sitting there and figuring out the most niche ways to pass the ball and destroy you, and it's not fun. It's there's half the games. I would say 80% of the games I play are never competitive. I'm getting blown out, and it's not fun for me, or I'm blowing someone else out, and it's there's no middle ground, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, higher up in the divisions, because I usually have around Division 3 or 4, because I've played the game a lot more than you in the past, I think it's fair to say. It's just, the games are closer. Don't get me wrong, you have blowouts, but the games are closer, but everybody plays the same way. Everybody does the pass backs and the sweaty goals and the working it down the wing, sending through balls. It's all the same. It's boring. It's all just the same repetitive game. And you think back in the day, you'd see all these silver squads. You'd see fun silver squads. You'd see OP 75 rated Abarbos and Doumbias and all that, Gervinhos. Marco Sau. You'd see all these cool teams, and these guys would be insane, and you literally cannot use them.
They made the game unplayable for people like me. Because when I play FIFA, right, he plays FIFA a lot. Mm-hmm. But for me, I play a lot of other games, I do other things, and I still love FIFA and I love soccer. But when I go in there, I'm just looking to play for fun. But the game's unplayable for me because unless you play a certain amount, you're gonna get dominated, right? So that's I can't go out there with my 75 overall Benteke because he's one of my favorite players and win games. It's just undoable.
Yeah, and I part of that I think I want to talk about the whole restructuring of divisions. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, the run from Division 10 to Division 1, there are so many YouTubers who do series like Road to Glory's Division 10 to Division 1, Race to Division 1. Remember KSI did that way back in, I think, FIFA 12? FIFA 12, and it was I think it's the biggest FIFA series ever.
I think that them getting away from that structure, I think that made FIFA's Ultimate Team special. And I think them getting away from that was kind of the bane. I mean, they added Foot Draft, and Foot Draft is, I think...
And they added Foot Champions.
Right, and I think those are cool, but I don't know that they necessarily had to take away the race to Division 1 aspect of the game. You know what I mean?
Well, it's Division Rivals now is what they have, and it's basically just more of the same competitive playing against people that are as good as you all the time. There's really no aspect to it, and I guess the whole game right now is geared towards getting your team strong for Foot Champions. And I've played Foot Champions for a while. I played it last year. I played it in FIFA 19, 20, and 21. And honestly, it's so stressful and not fun to play. It's not fun. Trust me. You do it for rewards. You don't do it because you enjoy it, because the stress level, the anger if you score, or if you don't score, if you concede like a 90th minute goal, if you concede a cheese goal, which always seem to happen for some reason in foot champs. Division rivals always seems to be cleaner gameplay, but it's just you're always on the edge of your seat. It makes you more angry than when you go in. You come out a worse person.
Yeah, you do.
You just come out more angrier, and it really is taking the enjoyment and the casual fun from divisions away from the game completely.
Well, I know for thinking back when I was in my FIFA 15, 16 heyday, it's like every game I played felt important. Now when I play, it's like not only do I know I'm going to either dominate or get destroyed, it's like, what's the point of even playing?
The thing is, every game back then felt like it had its place, felt fun, felt enjoyable. Every game now almost feels too important.
It feels...
It's you can't have fun. You can't relax. Because, like, if you have fun, you sit back in your chair, you relax. It's like that classic meme where the guy sits back in the chair, then he concedes 2, then he goes up here. Mm-hmm. It's like, you don't necessarily want to be playing from up here. You want to be playing from up here, joking around with your friends, playing like this, and then when a goal concedes, like, oh, okay, maybe I'll focus now. But from minute 1 to minute 90, you're like this, constantly. And, like, I've had cramps when I'm done playing FIFA. It's that bad, because you play, like, 30 games in 2 or 3 days, whatever Foot Champs is. It's awful.
Whatever happened to me sitting back in my chair, scoring sweaty goals with Gervinho and Doumbia. That's all I ever wanted. That was the peak of FIFA right there. Mm-hmm. And I know that they had to change some things, and I understand that. I just think that they really, like Noah said, made it everything you do matters. Like, if I want to go in and I want to get to Division 1, that's great. But if I want to stay in Division 4 and I lose a couple games, it is what it is. But now, like, you lose 3 games in a row, you go way down, and it's just, what's the point,
Yeah. All right, so the third point I really want to hit on, and this 1 and 3 are similar, but they're not the same. So the third point is content overload. And what I mean by this is, back in the day, you had foot draft, or you didn't even have foot draft sometimes, FIFA 14 and 15.
Yeah.
You had divisions, and you had friendlies.
Mm-hmm.
And friendlies, you would have tournaments sometimes where you could win a card, win coins, and then you'd have your race to Division 1 through 10. That's what you'd have, pretty much. That was it. That was it, plus foot draft later. Now, you have foot champs, division rivals, live foot friendlies, and in live foot friendlies, you have 3 different game modes you can play in live foot friendlies. You have foot draft, you have regular online friendlies, you have squad battles, and there's probably 1 or 2 more that I'm missing, but that's like 6 game modes that you're expected to play if you want to be engaged with the game. Like, back in the day, if you wanted to be engaged with the game, you could literally get on and just play, and you wouldn't lose your rank. Mm-hmm. You would stay where you are in divisions. Now, I don't know if you know this, but if you play a couple games and then you just stop, everybody keeps going up, and you would drop.
I've logged in before, thinking I was in Division 1, and I'd stop playing because I'm like, oh, the next day I'll go get my rewards.
Yeah, rank 1.
Rank 1, and I'm in rank 2, and I'm not there. And I get worse rewards, and I'm literally freaked out. It's literally to the point where I uninstalled the game. I don't have it on my PS4 right now because I'm like, what's the point? Like, I'm not going to play the game 24/7, 365.
It's what it needs.
I want to play the game for a night, enjoy my time, and then play it 3 days later and still enjoy my time and get my rewards that I think I deserve.
Don't get me wrong. The amount of stuff that is grindable is awesome if you have the time to grind it all. It's great. Although, with the gameplay issues, maybe it's not so great for your mental health, but it's great if you have the time to grind it all, but that literally takes like 4 or 5 hours every single day of playing FIFA. I've done that in the past. I do not recommend it.
It's become like
it's a job.
It's a job. It's like World of Warcraft. It's like you go and you have to do daily quests and world quests and all this stuff. And
it's great for a niche group of people.
It's great for people that want to play FIFA 24/7, but people like me who got like my 24/7 FIFA playing out of the way, and still want to play FIFA, but can't really come back to the game because like I when I first got it, I had to text him because I was like, dude, I don't know any of this stuff. I still don't understand half the things. Like I don't do SBCs. Just give me my division, not even division rivals. Just give me division 10 through 1, my race to division 1, and give me foot draft. That's all I ever needed. That's all I ever wanted. And give me my sweaty players. And that's it. That's all I need. I don't need all these content SBCs that I'm not doing, so people at every team I play is an 88 purple Aguero that I've never even heard of. No idea where it came from. And it just takes the content, for the people that want to play FIFA, I think EA is appealing to them, the 24/7 players, but I think there's a massive problem with EA appealing to the broad range of everyone that wants to play FIFA. Because it used to be, let's see for the camera, it used to be this. Now it's like this, right? And you have some overlap where I am, like right here where I still want to play. But these amount of people, they don't want to play anymore. And I think that's kind of...
Well, the issue is EA is kind of pissing off both communities at the moment. Because the broad people that are like you were just like, what happened? There's so much, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
I can't casually play the game anymore and do this. Whereas the people that are so into it are just like, the gameplay is the main issue. Like, if you don't play that often, you won't notice how mad the gameplay makes you. But for me, who does grind the game, I mean, I've come off it a lot, actually, but who I used to be, is the serious grinder who EA seems to put all this stuff out for. But you can't put out all this content and not touch the gameplay or make the gameplay worse, because I think you would say that from FIFA 14 to FIFA 15 to now, the gameplay is worse.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
And whether that has to do with more people in the servers or whatever, I don't know. The gameplay is worse. But you have the people who grind the game so much who now are playing all this time, and they're saying, this is not fun anymore because the gameplay is so bad, because I can't get enjoyment. It's like a card simulator. It's like collecting baseball cards at this point. It's just collecting shiny new items, and you don't actually want to play the game. You don't actually want to use the cards. You're just like, oh, I pulled a weird purple looking card. That's cool. I'll put that in my... It's a card collecting game. It's not a gameplay game anymore, which sucks.
It used to be both. Now it's one.
Yeah, which is terrible. EA is pissing off like both sets of fans, the hardcore gamers and the casuals, and they need to find a middle ground. But I really don't think they will, and that's why this video is titled "Why FIFA Will Never Be the Same."
Yep.
I guess we should say why FIFA Ultimate Team will never be
the same.
why
FIFA Ultimate
Why FUT will never be the same.
I mean, FIFA's still doing good things as far as career mode, maybe.
They haven't updated career mode in pro clubs, but that's a whole other separate issue. Most people play Ultimate Team. That's why people...
I buy FIFA to play Ultimate Team.
Pretty much everyone does. Very few people play career mode. If you want to play a good career mode, try the 2K games. They've got a lot more in-depth career mode than FIFA does.
Yep.
But thank you guys for watching. This has been a really nice talk about FIFA in general.
It was more of a rant.
Yeah, it was more of a rant. Go check out Max. He does a lot of cool music stuff. I appear sometimes as well. It's just Max, right? That's your channel?
Just Max. If you look up Max Metal Mondays, it'll come up.
Yeah, do that for sure. I'll leave a link in the description to his channel. And make sure you guys check out the other video. I talked about why the U.S. will win a World Cup before England. Make sure to go give that a like, and subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. If you agree or disagree, we'd love to hear your opinion. I'll reply to any comments. And bye for now. We'll see you guys later.
Bye, guys.